Okay, so that daily cup of coffee, right? That ritual.
The comforting part of the morning for so many.
Exactly. Maybe you're even having one right now or thinking about the next one already.
Probably. It's pretty essential for a lot of folks.
But have you ever, like, really paused and thought about the story behind your coffee, where it actually comes from?
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at the fascinating origin story of coffee.
Yeah, we're using insights from a really interesting podcast episode, Where Does It Come From? Hosted by Masoom.
Right. And the idea is to go deeper than just, the caffeine.
Totally. We want to uncover the history, the journey. Our source talks a lot about the human connection, its role in just everyday life.
So hopefully we'll uncover some maybe surprising facts, things that make you appreciate that cup a little differently.
That's the plan, those aha moments.
Okay, so where do we start? What's the kickoff point for coffee's story?
Right, well, let's travel back, way back. We're talking 9th century Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Okay.
Yeah, picture these like lush green mountains. And the story centers around a goat herder. His name was Kaldi.
Ah, the Kaldi legend. I've heard bits of this. So it starts with goats.
It does. So Kaldi notices his goats are acting, well, weird, super energetic after eating these specific red berries from a bush.
Not just normal goat energy, but like bouncing off the wall.
Pretty much. The source even called them caffeinated goats, which is kind of funny. They have this unusual pep.
Okay, so he sees his hyper goats.
And naturally, he gets curious. Like, what are these berries doing? So he decides, okay, I'll try them myself.
Brave man. Or maybe just really curious.
Maybe both. And guess what? He feels it too. This burst of energy, this alertness.
Wow. Okay, so he discovered caffeine basically without knowing what it is.
Essentially, yeah. And the story goes he gets pretty excited about this find.
I bet. What does he do next?
He shares his discovery with a monk from a nearby monastery.
A monk. Okay, interesting twist.
Yeah, and this monk, maybe he was, struggling to stay awake during long prayers, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh. Makes sense.
He has this brilliant idea. What if we brew these berries?
Ah, so that's the leap from eating berries to brewing a drink.
Exactly. And according to the legend, that brew was, well, the world's very first cup of coffee, all to help him stay focused during prayers.
That's actually pretty amazing. To think the world's favorite drink might have started with some buzzed goats and a sleepy monk.
It's kind of unbelievable when you frame it like that, isn't it?
It really is. Such a humble, almost accidental beginning.
Yeah.
So it starts in Ethiopia. How does it get out into the world?
Right. So from those Ethiopian highlands, coffee starts its big journey.
Okay.
If we jump forward a bit, maybe to the 15th century, it really takes root in Yemen.
Yemen, across the Red Sea.
And from Yemen, its popularity just explodes across the Arabian Peninsula. Coffee drinking becomes a big part of the culture there.
And then Europe enters the picture. How does that happen?
Well, think about the trade routes. By the 16th century, you've got these Venetian traders.
Ah, Venice. Always at the center of trade back then.
Exactly. They encounter coffee, see its potential, and they're the ones who really introduce it to Europe.
And I guess it caught on pretty quickly.
It really did. That's when you start seeing the rise of coffee houses. First in Venice, then spreading to other major cities. Think London, Paris.
Right, the famous European coffee houses. Weren't they more than just places to get a drink, though?
Oh, absolutely. They became incredibly important places, social hubs, intellectual melting pots.
Yeah, I remember reading they were centers for discussion, debate.
Totally. Our source actually calls them the world's first think tanks.
Wow, that's a strong statement. But it makes sense.
Yeah, picture it. Intellectuals, artists, writers, even revolutionaries, all gathering, sharing ideas, maybe planning things.
All fueled by coffee.
Precisely. It became the drink of choice for conversation and, well, thinking big thoughts.
It's fascinating how a simple beverage could foster that kind of environment.
And the spread didn't stop there, obviously. It kept going.
Right, eventually making its way across the Atlantic.
Yep, to the Americas. And by the 1800s, coffee wasn't just a European or Arabian thing anymore. It was pretty much widespread. A truly global drink by then.
Which leads us kind of naturally to where coffee stands today. Because it's massive now.
It's huge.
Right.
And it's easy to forget just how huge. The source pointed out something quite striking.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Coffee is now one of the most traded commodities on the planet.
Wow. Up there with what? Oil.
Exactly. Right alongside things like oil and gold. Just think about that. This bean.
That's incredible. It puts it in a totally different perspective. It's not just a grocery item. It's a global economic powerhouse.
For sure. And think about the whole chain involved.
You mean from the very beginning?
Yeah, from the farmers,
Yeah.
often working in really specific climates and conditions, growing the beans,
Rugged agriculture side.
through the whole complex global network that gets it processed, shipped, roasted.
And finally, to the big brands we see everywhere and the local cafes.
Exactly. It's this enormous system, millions of people involved.
And we just, grab our cup in the morning.
Right. But the source makes a great point. It's not just about the money, the economics.
What else is there?
Well, it's so deeply tied into culture, isn't it? It's about connection. Communities are built around it. Rituals form.
That's true. Different cultures have their own coffee traditions, their own ways of preparing and drinking it.
And every single cup has its own story, really.
Hmm.
The journey of that specific bean, how it was roasted, how you decided to brew it,
Yeah, the care that goes into it from farm to cup. There's a whole narrative there.
which kind of brings it back to us, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To the personal side of coffee.
And we experience it.
Because, let's be honest, for a lot of us, it's
Mhm.
way more than just, I need caffeine.
Definitely. There's often a ritual involved, isn't there? Like, how do you usually make your coffee?
That's a good question. Is it that careful pour-over method?
Or just hitting the button on the espresso machine? Or maybe the classic drip coffee maker?
It's those little details. For me, sometimes it's just the smell filling the kitchen first thing.
Yeah. The aroma is a huge part of it. Or that first warm sip.
Or maybe it's about sharing it, right? Sitting
Mhm.
down with someone, having a chat over coffee.
Exactly. It becomes part of the routine, part of how we connect, part of our comfort zones even.
The source talks about how we get attached to our coffee.
Attached. Yeah, that feels right.
And it's not just the caffeine buzz, though that's part of it. It's the whole package. The warmth, the taste, the familiarity, the moment it represents.
It's comfort in a cup sometimes.
So true.
Yeah.
Think about your own routine. When do you usually have coffee? Where are you?
Good prompt. Is it first thing scrolling through your phone?
Or is it the thing that gets you through that long afternoon meeting?
Or maybe it's meeting friends at a cafe on the weekend.
It just weaves itself so completely into how we live now.
It really does. It's become like a fundamental part of how we operate day to day, how we socialize.
Yeah, how we structure things, how we punctuate the day,
It's really evolved, hasn't it? From just being a way to stay awake.
to being this integral piece of our lifestyle, our habits, even tied up with memories sometimes.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, tracing coffee's journey.
We really have. From that maybe legendary start in Ethiopia with Kaldi and his goats,
Right, through its spread across the globe, the rise of coffee
and
houses,
its transformation into this massive global commodity.
and landing right back here
Yeah,
with our own personal connection to it, our daily rituals.
it's quite a story. Shaped by centuries of history, culture, trade, and discovery.
So maybe the next time you brew a cup or order one,
Yeah.
just take a second. Remember, it's not just caffeine hitting your system.
It's more than that.
It's this incredible blend, isn't it?
Yeah.
History, culture, connection, and that personal comfort it brings you.
So maybe the final thought is this.
Mm-hmm.
As you take that next sip, just ask yourself, what part of this amazing centuries-long story am I tasting right now?
A question worth pondering.
Definitely something to savor.